All right, we're just finishing up our new propeller, and I want to do a quick video to give you a little demonstration of it. So it's simple enough. It's a motorized secret compartment trap pillar, and I'm going to run through just the basic sequences of it, and then we'll come back. There's a lot of controls that the user can set, a lot of presets. So here we are, pillar. Take our special prop, Mr. Dragon. Unlock audio and crank. The spotlight that is on it comes with the unit. It can be pre-programmed to any color you want, as well as the interior lights. Nice fade in on both, and those can be user selectable. Well, the spotlight is done at the here at the factory, but the interior lights can be user selectable, and we'll go over all that in a minute. But that's the basic function. Prop unlocks the secret compartment, and then you have I have it hooked up to a remote right now, but you have a 12-volt trigger that can do it, or of course, as usual, you have a key to reset the unit. But for right now,
warning, the prop is now closing. For your safety,
also comes with an e-stop channel.
Attention, emergency stop has been activated. Please wait for assistance. Warning, the prop is now closing. For your safety, please step away from the pillar. Warning, the prop is now closing. For your safety, please step away from the pillar. Warning, the prop is now closing. For your safety, please step away from the pillar.
So I'll come back and we'll put this up on top of a table, turn it around, and show you all the inputs and outputs and user configurable settings that you can do with this thing. Okay, so right now we're looking at the back of the pillar, and let's see. First, we'll give it some power. Over here is your power. It's a 12-volt. We supply a 12-volt, 10-amp power supply that fits in right here. And all of a sudden, you got lights galore, right? Yep. So we're gonna kind of jump around here a little bit, but you have your, of course, power input. Down here is your fuse. There is a separate LED up here, and we'll get to that in a second. You have the logo that's backlit. The logo lighting actually will tell you the status of the unit, what phase it's in. Green means it's good to go. And then we will jump over here to the left. So these RGB colored buttons represent the color of the light that's on the inside of the box. So it's like a 7-color TTL, if you will. Pushing the buttons on will turn that color on. So obviously all of them in. You have white, those out, so it's red. Now these are out, it's blue, so forth and so on. Comes standard with all of them pushed in for white. Down here is your reset. So after the game is over, you take the prop off, turn the key, and it will reset the unit. These two buttons here is your manual up and down. So say you want to load the prop with something, it would be a pain to have to go get the prop and open it up or run through the entire sequence to do so. So if you just push this up, it'll go up. Anytime the pillar's in motion, the logo will flash red, and obviously load the prop, and you can just push it down.
Warning, the prop.
Now, if you hear that, these are momentary, so it'll only move while you're holding it in. And anytime the prop or the pillar is in a downward motion, the audio inside will play as a warning. So down motion it'll always play the safety audio.
Warning, the prop is now closing. For your safety, please step away from the pillar.
Of course, there's a limit switch in here, so even if you continue to hold it in after it's the pillar's already all the way as far as it can go, or it's supposed to go, it will not move, although the audio will still play. But it has an automatic limit switch, of course, inside the actuator that's inside of it. The two purple buttons here, there's two scene audio sounds that you hear play. So on the initial prop activating the pillar, it has an unlock sound. Sounds kind of like a vault, and that is the top. The bottom one is the crank. So you can actually turn both of those off by these two buttons, or just have one of them on. So you can actually eliminate those audio sounds if you want. If you don't want any audio playing, or say you just want the unlock, okay, we're gonna turn that on, we're gonna leave the crank off. So you can eliminate those that way with these two. This turns your effects off. Over here on the right, these white buttons, this is your volume control. Volume up, volume down, simple enough. Now, to set the volume and to set your audio, or to set the light that's inside the box, it'd be again a pain to have to run through the entire sequence in order to kind of see those, or walk around to the front of the unit to see like what color you're at. Obviously you can see it here, but to give you a quick reference of everything, this button right beneath the white ones, so these are yellow, these are amber, so this amber button here right below it, if you hold that in, it'll loop the audio channel, the audio sounds, and simultaneously this LED will turn on. This LED is a representation of what's in the box. So if I hold this down right now, I think we just have, let's just say we have red. If I hold this down, the audio will loop as long as you hold it in, so you can set your volume, and this LED will illuminate to kind of let you know what color you have set inside the pillar. And then from there you can lower the volume, raise the volume. Once you take your hand off of it, it's saved, it's back, and it's ready to go. Likewise, if I were to put blue, now it's telling me the light is blue inside the pillar. This right here can be pretty, might be an annoyance, or you may not want to draw attention to the back of the panel. You know, the glow, maybe you have a dark game and you want to keep it dark. If you want to, you can press this bottom button, and that will turn the entire panel lights off. So there'll be no illumination in the back panel. Everything is still active. You can still use all these functions.
Warning, the prop.
You can still raise it up, raise it down. Still do all that. Volume, everything's still active and can be used, but it kills the illumination to the back panel. So that takes care of that. These two Phoenix connectors here are your DMX. So it's a positive, negative, and then your ground is on pin 1. Now the reason why there's two Phoenix connectors here and not just a 3 pin Phoenix connector, because the original design actually incorporated two separate spotlights with just an on and off. So one would have been, you know, your ambient light, and then once the scene, it would immediately just switch to spotlight 2. We ended up not liking that. It just didn't look good enough for us. We wanted that fade. We wanted that nice smooth transition between the unlock and the static. So we just scrapped that, and now it's straight DMX, but we left the back panel. Instead of having to re-engineer the whole back panel, we just left it like this. So this is now, it only comes in a DMX, and that's what these two Phoenix connectors are, positive, negative, and then your DMX ground on pin 1 here. The bottom two Phoenix connectors, the first one is your 12-volt trigger. So just like your key, if you wanted to reset this from like a remote master controller, you have the option of doing that by supplying 12 volts to this Phoenix input. This one right here is your e-stop. So safety first, right? This is a moving prop, and you know, you want to be careful when it's in motion, especially on the downward motion, that sort of thing. For some reason, you need to stop the unit or stop the prop at any point in time. 12 volts into here will shut the unit down. So you'll get that audio saying that the emergency stop has been activated, and it will not, of course, go again until you reset it with one of these two. Now, it's important to note that the pillar doesn't know exactly where it is when this kind of stuff is activated. So if you were to do an e-stop right in the middle of its motion, you would need to do a full reset, either 12 volts here through the key, and it will run through the entire process. So you'll get, I think it's three loops of the down audio. Another thing that you need to know is that whether these are on or not, so say you have both of these turned off, so you have no audio playing, that will not change the downward warning that it's props in motion, and it will not change the stop audio track. Those will play regardless if you have these turned off. Those bypass these settings. But the audio is global. So it's your responsibility that even if you don't have the audio here turned on, you're not using the audio that's built into the prop, the volume needs to be set at a reasonable volume in order for those tracks to still play. So again, turning off the audio tracks for the effects audio, it's not going to affect the emergency tracks, but the volume will. The volume is a global. And that's basically it. So any questions, let us know. Hope you enjoy it. Bye.